Good morning, humanity. Good afternoon, good evening, or maybe the middle of the night. Under the covers, wherever you are, we are broadcasting from amazing, beautiful, fantastic Oroville in southern I was going to say California, but it's not California. It's southern India. But the weather here is so beautiful, we could be in California without all the smoke. So my name is Fifth. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I'm also the MediClown Academy co-founder. So we started to talk a little bit about imagination and the importance about imagination and remembering the past. And yes, remembering the future. Today I want to share a little story with you. And just outside I had a beautiful conversation with a young man who's going to come in here and volunteer, and he spent some time in the United States. That's why I said California. But anyway, let's go back to the 1960s. Probably before many of you may have been born, or some of you were born. And in the 60s, there was a war happening in Vietnam. And a lot of people were like really angry. The young people were angry. They were frustrated with what was going on. In one particular case, there was a 16-year-old boy. His name is Michael. And Michael decided to go out and support the protesters. Not only that, his friend was also part of the protest. And he thought, yeah, I'm going to go out and help with the protest. Now, Michael had been very, very angry. We all have our own reasons for being angry. But his father had died when he was younger. So he was angry about that. And he became very belligerent, very abstemious, But that's what Michael needed to go through. So anyway, so he goes to this event. And at this event, he's there supporting the peaceful movement. The police are there. His friends are there. Everything is peaceful. And then in his mind, he's like, he's getting a little anxious. He's feeling this agitation coming up. And then I'm not quite sure what happened. But the police began to push people back, and they pushed him back and said, hey, stay away from here, right? And as they pushed him back, he got more angry. And they said, hey, but, stay behind there. And he really got angry then. And then they pulled the hoses out, and he got super angry. And in the back of his head, he heard this voice that said, don't do it, don't hit, don't do it. And it just built up and built up and built up inside him. And suddenly it wasn't about the peace movement. It wasn't about Vietnam. It wasn't about his friend. It was, I just want to get a fist and hit that fist into someone's face. And that's what he did. He went bang. And the next thing you know, he was in jail. And the next morning, he opened up the paper, and the paper said, belligerent 16-year-old incites a riot. Then the guard called and said, we have a visitor. And it was his mom. And he thought, oh, no, it's my mom. Then he thought, I'll get bail. And so his mom came in. And, you'd think that she might say, oh, Michael, how could you do this? How could you bring such shame? And how could you be so angry? And that's not the way I brought you up. But instead, she looked at him and she said, Michael, I don't know who you're pretending to be, but I don't know that person who started that fight. The Michael that I know and I remember is this beautiful, beautiful boy who's so gracious, who's so generous, who's so fun-loving. I remember the Michael. And then she mentioned all these beautiful attributes that Michael had. And he began to remember. And then she said, and I just want you to remember that that is your true spirit. That's truly who you are inside. You're joyful, you're loving, you're filled with happiness. Yeah, there are circumstances that have come up, but this is your true nature. And then she left without paying bail. So he sat there for the next 3 days and contemplated this. Michael ended up growing up, obviously he was 16 at the time, but grew up in the United States to be one of the most profound thought leaders there and brought a whole lot of love and peace to a number of people. And I guess the reason I share this story with you is because inside you, there is an amazing, beautiful, incredible, joyful, loving human being. That is our birthright, one of laughter, one of joy, one of play, one of love. And when we continue to feel this and embrace this, then we don't need to be pretending to be like the cool dude that wants to go and fight or whatever, right? We can practice the peace, the love, and the joy. And one way to do that is to laugh. And so we're going to have Stefano here. We've got a couple of guests that are here right now, and we have our new camera op, Mael, Oroville Kid here. We're going to laugh together. Okay? We're going to laugh together, and we're going to take this program out with intentional laughter for peace. Peace in myself, peace within the community and my family, peace around the world and with nature. So let's take a deep breath in, and with the intention of healing the world,